and we're going to divide out polynomials. Okay, so there's two ways to do this. There's long division, okay, and then there's synthetic division. Okay, so if I was to do this problem with long division, okay, and you will have to do sum. Now, anything with a power of 1, you could use synthetic, and it's a lot easier. Okay, but I'm going to walk you through how to do long division first. 14x to the fourth plus 19x cubed minus 7x squared minus 15x. Now, if there's not a term, which there's not here, a plus constant term, you need to put that in there. Okay, so if there was an x to the third term missing, you need to put 0x to the third. If there's an x to the fourth term missing, you need to put 0x to the fourth, so on. Okay, and then you put x minus 3 out here. You deal with this number. Okay, so x times what is equal to 3x to the fifth? Well, that would be 3x to the fourth. Okay, and then you multiply this by this. Okay, so 3x to the fourth times x is 3x to the fifth. And then 3x to the fourth times negative 3 is negative 9x to the fourth. Okay. You need to change the sign, because if I added going down, okay, so technically you're subtracting going down. So I'm going to put a negative here and a positive here. You're changing the sign. So 3x to the fifth minus 3x to the fifth is 0. Negative 14x to the fourth plus 9 would be negative 5x to the fourth. Okay, and then put everything else, 19x cubed minus 7x squared minus 15x plus 0. Okay, and then do the same thing. So 3x, or x times what is negative x, or 5x to the fourth? Well, that would be negative 5x cubed. Multiply that through, and it should be negative 5x to the fourth. This times negative 3 is positive 15x cubed. Okay. Again, you want to subtract these going down, so I'm going to change the sign, plus, minus. Okay, so that would be 0. Okay, this would be, it's minus, so it would be 4x cubed, minus 7x squared, minus 15x, plus 0. Keep going. So x times what is 4x cubed? That'd be 4x squared. Again, multiply this by both. So that'd be 4x cubed. And that would be negative 12x squared. Change the sign. You want to subtract them, so minus plus. So that would be 5x squared minus 15x plus 0. So x times what is 5x squared? That would be 5x. Multiply that through, you get 5x squared. You get minus 15x. Okay, change the sign. This would be a minus, this would be a plus. And you end up getting 0, 0, 0. Okay, so once you get that, you're done. And this should be your answer. So when you divide those, your answer should be 3x to the fourth minus 5x cubed plus 4x squared plus 5x. Okay, so that's long division. Here's how you do it synthetic. Okay, out here goes the 0. Okay, the 0 value. So what makes this 0? Well, your answer is 3. All right, because 3 minus 3 is 0. Then you put the coefficients up here. Okay, so that'd be 3. Okay, and then again, this was x to the fifth. I need one for x to the fourth, x cubed, x squared, x, and then the coefficient. So whatever's left, or the constant. So 3, x to the fourth is negative 14. X cubed is 19. Negative 7, negative 15, and 0. Okay. Again, if it's missing an x to the fourth term, you need to put a 0 in there. Or x cubed, you got to put a 0. So the first thing, you drop. You drop the first number. Okay. To get this number, you are going to multiply these two. So 3 times 3 is 9. Okay. So then, once you get that number, you add these. Negative 14 plus 9 is negative 5. Okay. In order to get this number, you multiply. Negative 5 times 3 is negative 15. Okay, 19 plus negative 15 is 4. Again, to get this number, you multiply. 4 times 3 is 12. 12 plus negative 7 is 5. 5 times 3 is 15. This is 0. 0 times 3, 0. 0 plus 0, 0. Okay? So make sure you finish the whole thing out. Now, we divided off 1x. So instead of x to the 5th, we subtract 1. So x to the 5th would be x to the 4th. So this is x to the 4th. This is x cubed. This is x squared. This is x. This is your constant number. Okay, and this should go away. This is your remainder out here. So if you have everything left, this is your remainder. Okay, so your answer to this question should be 3x to the 4th plus, minus, because of the minus sign, minus 5x cubed plus 4x squared plus 5x, then plus 0. And you notice it's the same as this. Okay, so if you get good at synthetic division, this gets to be a lot easier than all of this. Okay, now in the question it says put it in the form q of x plus r of x over d of x. Okay, this is if you had anything remainder. Okay, so whatever you get here, you'd put here, and d of x is just x minus 3. Okay, so your answer, this is your q of x, whatever you get, and then the remainder is the last part. So this is your answer on this one. Okay, we'll do a couple more of those. Hopefully it makes sense. All right, so I'm going to do the rest using synthetic. I'm not going to work it all the way out. Okay, so the next one is 2x to the 5th plus 12x to the 4th plus 8x cubed minus 10x squared plus 6, and I'm going to divide off by x plus 5. Okay, so synthetic division, make your L. Again, right here is the 0. So what makes the bottom equal 0? Negative 5. Negative 5 plus 5 is 0. Again, this is your x to the 5th term, or your highest term, your degree. This is x to the 4th, x cubed, x squared. Notice we don't have an x, but we still need to put something there. And then this is your constant. All right. So we put the coefficients in. So 2, 12, 8, negative 10, 0, 6. Okay. Put the plus signs in. Okay. And remember, the very first term you drop 2. And that should make sense. If I divided 2x to the 5th by x, it would just drop 1x. So it'd still be 2x to the 4th. That's where I'm still getting x. X to the 5th, I dropped 1 off, so this is x to the 4th. All right, so to get the next number, you multiply. 2 times negative 5 is negative 10. Add them. 2, negative 10, negative 2, 10, 0, 0, right? Because 0 times negative 5 is 0. 0 plus 0 is 0. 0 times negative 5, again, is 0. And 6 plus 0 is 6. Okay, so this was x to the 4th. This is x third. This is x squared. This is x. This is now your constant. And then this is your remainder. Okay, so this is your r of x. Okay, so when you write out your answer, this is going to be 2x to the 4th plus 2x cubed minus 2x squared plus 0x plus 0. Okay, so that's your q of x plus your remainder of 6 over whatever you had, whatever you divided by x plus 5. This is your answer. All right. Use synthetic division to determine if the given value of k is a 0 of the polynomial. All right. We're going to start with the bottom one first. So 4x cubed minus 10x squared minus 7x minus 25. And they're asking, is k equal 3 a 0? Okay. Now, easiest way to do it would be taking the 3 and plugging it in. 3 cubed times 4 minus 10 times 3 squared minus 7 times 3 minus 25. And you see, does that answer equal 0? Okay. If it does, the answer is yes. But the other way to do it is to see if you do synthetic, 10, sometimes the math is easier rather than just plugging it in. But you want to see if is there a remainder. If the answer here is 0, okay, at the bottom, then k equal 3 is a 0 because it can be a dividing by, okay? So it'd go into it evenly. So 4 plus 4 times 3 is 12. This would be 2. This would be 6 because 2 times 3 is 6. 6 plus negative 7 is negative 1. This would be negative 3. And the answer is negative 28. So the answer is no. When k is equal to 3, when you plug 3 in, your answer, your p of x is equal to negative 28, not 0. All right? So that's how you would do that. You're going to do the same thing for the one right above it. Okay, and this is probably where it would be a little bit easier to do synthetic. 5x squared minus 2 minus 7i x plus 90 minus 100, or I'm sorry, minus 90 minus 10 I, where k is equal to negative 5i. Again, you could plug in negative 5i to x and see, but that might be a little bit more difficult. Okay, so again, we're going to try negative 5i. We're going to see if we have a remainder. If the remainder is 0, then we're done. And then the answer would be yes, it is a 0. So 5, keep your minus sign and distribute your minus sign. So this would be negative 2 plus 7i. And then third term would be 90 minus 10i. Okay, so we don't have to go very far. This is x squared. This was x. This is your constant. All right, so we're going to try to plug this in. So bring down the 5. This is a plus. This is a plus. So 5 times negative 5i is negative 25i. Okay, and now you add. So negative 2. So add this straight down. So negative 2 plus 7i plus negative 25i, you just add these two terms. So it'd be negative 2 minus 18i. And now when you multiply, you have to distribute. So negative 5i times negative 2 is positive 10i. Okay. And negative 5i times negative 18 would be 5 times 18 is 90, but it's I squared. Okay, so I squared, when you multiply 5i times 18i, and technically both are negative. Okay, this would be the same thing as negative times negative is 90, but it would be I squared. And remember, I squared is equal to negative 1. So this is the same thing as saying 90 times negative 1, which is negative 90. Okay, so minus 90. So 90 plus negative 90 is 0, and negative 10i plus 10i is 0. Okay, so your remainder is 0. So if you ever get a remainder of 0, then the answer is yes. K equals negative 5i is a 0. All right. Okay, so now they're going to start asking you to write polynomials. This one is important. They ask this quite a bit on a test. So they're given the zeros, and now you got to go back and write the polynomial. Okay, so we want it to be a third degree. Okay, so that means the highest power is 3. Okay, and it has zeros of negative 5, negative 2, and 4. But now it gives you one more thing. It has a y-intercept of negative 9. The rest of it's not so hard. This is the part that screws up a lot of people. Okay, so we'll walk through that. Okay, so zeros of negative 5, negative 2, 4. You should have factors of x plus 5 because is equal to, let's say, p of x. And we got to solve for p of x. If I plug negative 5 in, I get 0. Okay, the next one would be x plus 2, and the last one would be x minus 4. Okay, so this would give me 0, but now I have to have a y-intercept of negative 9. Okay. So how are we going to do that? Well, let's go ahead and factor this or FOIL all this out. So these two multiplied would be x squared. X times 2 is 2x. And then 5x, and then 10. And simplified out. And then x minus 4. Still keep this. And simplified out would be x squared plus 7x plus 10. And then x minus 4. Now FOIL these. So x times x squared is x cubed. X times 7x is 7x squared. X times 10 is 10x. And then negative 4x squared. Negative 4 times 7 is negative 28x. And negative 4 times 10 is negative 40. And then I just add those. All add your like terms. Okay, so I get p of x equals x cubed minus 4x squared minus 28x minus 40. However, okay, so this would be a polynomial of third degree with just these zeros. But now we want the y-intercept to be negative 9. Okay. Well, think about y-intercept. We want a y-intercept of negative 9. So how do I get a y-intercept? I know x is equal to 0. Okay, so it needs to drop this down 9. So right now my y-intercept, if I plug this in, it would be 0, 0, 0. My y-intercept would need negative 40. So I need to move this whole thing up . Nine. Okay, so your y-intercept needs to be negative 9. Now, I can't just put minus 9. Right now it's negative 40. Okay. So the only thing I can do, I need to be able to, because let's just say I put minus 9 on here, I change all the zeros, right? So what I can do is multiply something up front. Like say I multiplied by, let's say 7. Okay. Would that change the zeros? No, you still have zeros of negative 5, negative 2, and 4. Okay, so the thing I can change is this multiplier out here. Okay, so I'm going to multiply by some constant. Okay, so I'm going to have p of x is equal to some constant value times x cubed minus 4x squared minus 28x minus 40. Okay, now what do I want this value to be? Well, when x equals 0, I want the y value, which is this, to be negative 9. So I'm going to plug in negative 9 is equal to c, and then instead of the x's, I'm going to plug in 0. So 0 cubed minus 4 times 0 squared minus 28 times 0 minus 40. And I need to solve for c. So negative 9 is equal to c times 0 minus 0 minus 0 minus 40. I'm multiplying c times negative 40. I need to get it to the other side, so I divide. So c is now equal to 9 over 40. So my final equation is going to look something like this with the c in front. So my final equation is this. P of x is equal to 9 over 40 times x cubed minus 4x squared minus 28x minus 40. Okay. And that would be a polynomial with the zeros, but it has a y-intercept of negative 9. Okay. We probably need to do maybe a couple more examples of that. on the same technique. Okay. So let's do another one. Third degree with zeros of -3, -2, and 1. These are your zeros. Third degree. So the highest power is going to be 3. And it has to pass through the point 2, 6. So my y value is at 6 when x equals 2. Okay, so that means I'm going to have to do that c thing again. Okay, so let's write the polynomial function first. P of x is equal to, so we're going to have a c. And then, let's see. It would be x plus 3 would be the first one. X plus 2 will be the second one, and x minus 1 will be the third one. Okay, so I need to FOIL this out, and then solve for c. Okay. So let's do that. Let's FOIL that out first. P of x is equal to c times, if I do these two first, that would be x squared plus 5x plus 6, and just skip the step. Okay, and then x minus 1. Okay, so FOIL this now. So P of x is equal to c times x cubed plus 5x squared plus 6x minus x squared, now because I'm a -1 times x squared, minus 5x minus 6. So P of x is equal to c times x cubed plus 4x squared plus x minus 6. Okay, so now you're going to plug in the 0.26. Well, this would be the x, this would be the P of x or y, and then we got to solve for c, and then we're pretty well done. Okay, so I'm going to say 6 equals some c value times 2 cubed plus 4 times 2 squared plus 2 minus 6. And then I just got to solve for c. So 6 is equal to c times 8. 2 squared is 4. 4 times 4 is 16. Plus 2 minus 6. 6 is equal to c times 24. 26 minus 6 is 20. And then divide off the 20. So that would be 3/10. 6 divided by 20. Reduced down is 3/10 is equal to c. And then I take this and plug it back into right here, and I'm done. So P of x is equal to 3/10 x cubed plus 4x squared plus x minus 6. Okay, so my hint to you guys would always be put the c here. Put this c value right in front every single time. And if they don't give you anything like this, technically your c value is 1. Okay, and so it would just go away. So always put your c value right in front of all this, and then you have to solve for c based on this information at the end. All right, last one. Second degree. That's not bad. I have zeros of, write that out so that's not confusing, of -7 and 3. And it needs to go to -infinity as x approaches -infinity. Okay, so graph-wise, as x goes this way, my y value needs to go down. So think about it. It has to be a second degree, so it's going to be x squared, and it just has to go down. Okay, so what would flip an x squared would just be the minus sign in front. Okay, so first thing, P of x is equal to c. I would always put that times, then put your zeros. Okay, so it'd be x plus 7, x minus 3. FOIL this out. X squared plus 4x, there's 21. And that's 7 times x is 7x, -3 times x is -3, and then 7 minus 3 is 4. Now, the c value, okay, this technically goes up, but I need it to go down because of this. Okay, so all I need here, I need to flip it, so I need a minus sign. So my answer is negative x squared plus 4x minus 21. Okay. All right, that would be section 5.2. Work through the practice several times. Make sure you understand how to do it. The C value is what gets a lot of people. So always put the C value in front and then solve for C. Okay. All right. Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks.